This segment of Off the Beaten Path is brought to you by the Lazy Dog Salon, 525B North Broad Street in West Hazelton. Welcome back to Off the Beaten Path, the spectacular version of Off the Beaten Path, the program that showcases interesting people, places, and things all across this great state of Pennsylvania. And today we are in the scary, spooky Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. But the next story isn't scary at all, is it?
Not unless you're scared of unpasteurized apple cider. And you really shouldn't be, and we'll explain why in this story. It's more of a fall story and a fall tradition. Every year I like to go to Maylath's farm down in the beautiful Sugarloaf Valley, and they have a hayride, a corn cannon, and a bunch of interesting different things to do down there. And here's one.
Corn cannon.
This 10-acre corn maze all begins with a drawing, and then a weed whacker. The corn gets chopped in July when it's about knee-high, and that's when Maylath's annual corn maze starts to take shape. But before that, the corn has to be planted.
Basically, they plant over it twice. Like I said, they'll go one pass east to west, and then one north to south in the basic layout. And this way, it's creates more of that illusion that you don't know where you're at. Make it a little scarier and a little more fun.
Maybe being lost in a cornfield doesn't scare you, but maybe that's because you've never seen Children of the Corn, or because you've never been in a corn maze with children who just had some sugary treats from the concession stand. But don't panic if you do get lost, because David Gross or one of his co-workers will come to rescue you.
They ever have rescue missions? I mean, where people have to send out someone to...
No, apparently there was one out in Ohio or something this year, and a lot of people that come down here, it's a joke that they're going to call 911 if they get lost in there, but I always tell them I'll come and find them if they're gone for more than 45 minutes.
However, you should know this, that humans aren't the only ones who like corn mazes. Scary, huh? Not really, because I'm not talking about fuzzy floating orbs of light, I'm talking about fuzzy animals.
Raccoons will come in and rip it right off and steal it and eat it, and the deer come in and eat at it, and the crows and all kind of wild animals live off this too. And then we take what they leave behind for us. We kind of create an easy pathway for them, so I think that's why I like the maize field so much.
You probably shouldn't eat the corn. I don't know if Maylaths would care, I just think it's part of an unwritten corn maze etiquette. Plus that corn can be put to good use, like to fuel a car, or someone's home, or as ammo in Maylath's corn cannon.
Well, the corn cannon's been here as long as I've been here. It's basically a potato gun, and it fires out corn using air pressure, and it's one of probably the best experience you could have down here if you like shooting things.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful too. I mean, that thing could really launch a piece of corn.
Yeah, it could throw it pretty far. It throws it into the woods down here. I don't think they've ever actually gauged how far it could shoot, but it sends the corn out there.
If you get hungry or thirsty, Maylath's does offer cooked food and some fine beverages, like their homemade apple cider. It's made from apples grown right on the farm, and while some people may be scared of it because it isn't pasteurized, you really shouldn't be.
The reason it's not pasteurized is it makes it taste better, I think, and it gives you the full flavor of the apple. I mean, when you're pasteurizing, you're killing the germs and everything, but you're killing a lot of the flavor in it, and it's safe to drink. We have a warning sign on there: pregnant women, children under a certain age, and the elderly, use caution. Don't drink too much of it. But once you start drinking it, it's just like unpasteurized milk. You get used to it, and you can drink it down pretty quick.
When you get out of the maze, your feet may be a little tired, so why not take a load off and take a hayride? Now, the hay doesn't move itself. You need one of these sweet tractors to move the hay and the people on it.
They're powerhouses to do, not really meant to do this. They're supposed to be pulling plows and baling hay and stuff with them, but I mean, they're a lot of fun. They're surprisingly easy to drive. A lot of people think that they'd be harder, but it's real easy.
Kind of simple, no real shifting or anything?
No, you put it in gear and you go. It's not like a car where you have to constantly shift up, shift down, shift. You pick your gear what you need to be in, and you go in it, and you hardly ever have to be messing around with it.
How fast does it go?
This one here, I'm not sure how fast this one goes. I think his newer tractor, the McCormick, could probably do like 20-25 miles an hour on the road.
Okay.
I mean, it's not super fast.
At the end of your trip, you can spend some time looking for the Great Pumpkin. Here's some fast pumpkin facts so you don't look like a blockhead at the pumpkin patch. Good grief.
There's different varieties. There's from Pams, which are real small, smaller pumpkins that are almost look like the perfect pumpkin with the stem and everything, all the way up to the Atlantic Giants that are those big, massive ones you see at the fair and all that weigh a couple 100 pounds.
You may not find the Great Pumpkin, but you probably will find the perfect pumpkin for your family. And that pumpkin may have took a short trip just to be with you.
A lot of pumpkins out here now come from other fields. We try not to drive over all of our pumpkin fields with the hayrides because you pack down the soil so much, it's hard to get stuff to grow the next year in those spots, unless you run the equipment over quite a bit to break up the ground. But so most of these out here are from other fields and stuff. If you wanted to pick them right off the vine here, the first 2 weekends are probably the time to do it.
I know you see a lot of kids in this segment, but how many of you adults want to run through the corn maze or shoot the corn cannon? It's okay, you're not alone.
How often you get to fire corn at wooden signs and get lost in a corn maze, ride around on hay wagons? It makes you feel like a kid again when you're down here. That might be one of the main reasons me and Chris's friends like being around here. We get to not act our age, act our mentalities.
There's something for everyone at Maylath's farm, and maybe if Linus picked a pumpkin patch with a corn maze and a corn cannon, the whole Peanuts gang would have hung out with him on Halloween instead of going to that party.
Still ahead on Off the Beaten Path, Chris and his camera.